Cheddar. After hearing about Tom's death, I made a rule about not getting in. Instead, I'd sift from the side. But that December night was an exception. I'd found a miracle dumpster. In the very first grocery sack was a book-sized brick of cheddar cheese, still wrapped in store cellophane. I stashed it in my coat's big pocket and then climbed in, reasoning that if someone were to toss out a perfectly good chunk of cheese, the prospects of what else had been dumped seemed endless. The dumpster sat in the parking lot of a small apartment complex in Rexburg, 10 duplexes tops. I figured a few minutes in the trash, then all the doors, then back to the tracks. Rooting through bags and boxes, I didn't hear the man approach. "Can I help you?" he said. Young and pudgy, he stood in the shallow light of the street lamp and shuffled in the snow. "I can't believe what people throw away," I said, extending my hand out of the dumpster. "I'm Chuck." The man came closer and looked in, scanning through banana peels and diapers and empty vegetable cans bunched at my knees. "You wouldn't have found any cheese?" he asks. "I haven't found much of anything. Forget it," he said, and took my hand. "I'm Davy." I helped myself out of the dumpster. On the ground, I brushed off and fished out my laminated magazine subscription card. "You look like a smart guy. You a reader?" Davy nodded. "I got a deal for you. 2 magazines, $10 the first month, $1 every month after that." Davy toe-heeled on the icy pavement. He slapped his hands together and blew into them. "You got Sports Illustrated?" "Buddy," I said, handing him the magazine card, "I got everything from Great House Sweeping to Hustler." Davy chuckled, then took the card and looked at its face. "So what do you say, interested?" "Well, things are tight. Listen, a man's got to have some pleasures in life." "Had much luck selling magazines?" Davy asked. "Here and there," I said, sliding the card into my pocket alongside the pilfered cheese. That night I'd sold 0 subscriptions. Not that it mattered, since they never got the magazines anyways. I was just too proud to beg, preferring to earn my cash. I'd found a magazine card in a Sacramento recycling bin. Davy looked back at the apartments. "It's 11. People turn in early here." "So I've seen," I said. The whole town had been dead since I'd gotten out of the Western Goods tractor trailer a few hours back. I'd bummed down from Bozeman with a frozen food driver. He let me out on the shoulder of US 20 with a Pall Mall and a warm pair of work gloves. I'd knocked at doors of the houses, framed in blinking strands of green and red lights. On the way in, no one was interested. One man got all wrinkled when I mentioned Playboy, telling me it was wrong for a youth to be spreading such filth through the world. A youth? I'm 26. I ain't been young since Jordan quit the Bulls. So I told him a youth's gotta spread something. Certain he'd call the cops, I ducked down back roads and followed the railroad tracks into town. I lurched along in search of something stout to drink, but all the stores were closed. Club Strata, a vacant dance hall, was attached to a Jiffy Lube mechanic shop. An inch of snow coated the stationary cars, the power lines, and the edges of a few 2-story buildings. When I inhaled, my nostril hairs iced together. On the hill rose a glowing cathedral, both alien and angelic, not a liquor store to be found. It was a strange, lonely night until finding the dumpster. "So what can I mark you down for?" I asked Davy again. "Chuck, listen, I'd really like to, but I can't. It's $10, that's like 2 meals at Mickey D's." "I know," Davy looked me up and down, rubbing his hairless chin. "Man, you're skinny. Come inside. Let's eat. Then we'll talk it over." In my 8 years of wandering, I learned to be picky and protective. I learned truckers aren't strangers, they're normal workaday folk. The same with other hitchers. But Davy's kind, the kind to invite you in, showed up in the newspaper in stories about lampshades made of stray cats and pickle jars full of human digits. "What have you got?" "I was going to make sandwiches, but I lost the cheese," Davy said. The light glinted off his wire-framed glasses and illuminated his wispy widow's peak, making him look as dangerous as an 8th grader. So now I'm going to make pancakes. You ain't gonna call the cops, I asked. Do I need to? I thought about that for a bit. No, I said, I'm a stand-up guy. So I followed Davy to his apartment, knowing I could take him if things got hairy. All sorts of nervous. Okay. All right. Davy's apartment was small and 9 shades of brown. Carpet, couch, TV stand, foot table, picture frames, and closet doors all varied from dark chocolate to lightweight cardboard. A plank inscribed with "Welcome to our home" advertised from the door. The only things that weren't brown were a foot-tall plastic Christmas tree near the hallway and a painting of a red-robed Jesus that judged down from above the TV. Not that I had a problem with brown. I'd grown up with the color. In Guthrie, Oklahoma, it was my staple hue, from the hills to Cottonwood Creek to my best friend Tom. Tom got freaky if you called him black, yelling that he was Coco. Tom and I shared some good times as salt and pepper Okies until he ran away to Dallas at 15. I heard later from a group of bums at Cement City that Tom liked sleeping in dumpsters. They attributed that to his disappearance, reasoning the garbage truck must have snuck up on him in the middle of the night. Just inside the front door, Davy demanded that we remove our shoes, warning his wife Meg would kill us if we tracked in parking lot sludge. You're married, I said, and thought to run. Women have a harder time with me than men, it seemed. Instead, I said, look, I got some pretty ugly socks. Davy opened a closet and took down a department store hanger. Don't worry, Meg's not here. She's a nurse. She works graveyard, except they don't call it that. Too depressing, you know. Then he said, wait here. He disappeared around the corner, then returned with a pair of gray wool socks and tossed them to me. Keep them. I haven't been skiing in years. Give me your coat. Relax. I got it, I said, taking the hanger and hanging my coat in the closet between crisp sweatshirts and windbreakers. I moved to the couch and sank down. I pulled off my old wet socks and balled them up and tossed them at the door. They landed in the crook near the closet. I'd throw them away after dinner. I pulled on the woolies and waggled my toes until I felt them heating against each other. Man, I said to Davy, who was in the kitchen, which was really just an extension of the living room, no wall blocking our conversation. I'm as warm as Southern comfort. Davy took down an automatic mixer from above the refrigerator. Is that a saying where you're from? No, I said, grinning. I just made that up now. Pretty good, right? Davy nodded. You wouldn't have some, I probed, knowing how fine a drink would do me. I watched Davy for a response, but he just squinted. I mean, it doesn't have to be Southern comfort. I'd take a lick of scotch or boxed wine or a brewski. Anything will do. Oh, you want a drink, Davy said. He opened its chef cupboards, taking down bowls and measuring cups and flour, and to my disappointment, not one bottle. He filled a large cup at the tap and walked it across the room to me. I took it for lack of something better or stronger. Davy did the whole shebang. He measured the flour, spooned in chocolate chips, broke the eggs, and cut the butter. He moved about the kitchen with purpose and wiped his hands on a dry dish rag. Where'd you learn that, I asked. I've been on my own a while. Tell me about it, I grumbled, but I can't make pancakes. It's a God-given talent. Scents of cinnamon and maple and frying meat wafted about and made my stomach noisy and anxious. So you and your lady get hitched right out of high school or what? I asked. No, I went on a church mission for 2 years. She got her nursing degree. We were married 11 months ago. A mission, I said. Like to Africa? Try Cincinnati, Spanish speaking. Did you pick that? No, the church, well, technically God did. You think he'd have sent you someplace a little more exotic. I liked it, Davy said. If only the whole world were filled with good Buckeyes. Now go wash up. It's almost ready. He folded the dish rag and threw it over his shoulder as easily as if slapping on a baseball cap. In the bathroom, I scrubbed my hands and face. On the mirror, in erasable marker, was a red stenciled heart and the phrase, "You're a cutie maruti," scrawled underneath in what I imagined was Meg's curly handwriting. I pulled on the mirror and the medicine cabinet opened. Nothing interesting but store-brand headache pills. I pocketed a palmful. When I came out, Davy had set the table with paper plates and a stack of steaming flapjacks 10 high and a tangle of bacon. I sat down and loaded up. The butter slid off my knife and disappeared, the dough sponging up as much syrup as I dared pour. Davy took a few cakes and did the same, but seemed more interested in watching me eat. "What's your story, Chuck?" "It's complicated," I said, "and boring. People asking for my details made me nervous." I turned the tables and asked Davy why everything in Rexburg closed at 10 p.m. "Who knows," he said. "I just came here for college." "Are you going to be one of those forever students?" I asked. "No. Well, yes, pre-dentistry. I apply in 2 years, then hopefully one day I'll open my own practice." "I can't imagine sticking my hands in other people's mouths," I said. He shrugged. "You do what you gotta do." "Ain't that the truth," I said, "but I doubt anyone would want these meat pies in their mouth." In the crease between my thumb and forefinger was an open sore, a cut from vaulting into a dumpster in Helena. My fingernails were black with illegally disposed of motor oil and roofing tar from some bins near Missoula. Davy said, "Right now I sweep the library early morning. Anything would be better than that." "Geez, how old are you anyways?" I asked. 22. "You kidding me? Married, soon to be dentist? You got life pinned down." "It's just what we do around here," he said. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Well, we're all pretty much Mormon." "No kidding," I said, licking my fork. "So where's your other wife?"